Welcome to Built in the Bluegrass, a podcast dedicated to cool stuff made in Kentucky. We want to share with you how it was made, why it was made, and the story behind it. And now, here's your host.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Built in the Bluegrass, where we tell cool stories about things made in our own Kentucky backyard. We're here with Tyler Cox, manufacturing coordinator of WaterStep, also located here in Louisville. We have a little bit of history with WaterStep. We did one of our last episodes with Curtis of WaterStep, and it was fascinating to hear all about what they're doing over there, how they do it, and why they do it, which is obviously what we like to do here on Built in the Bluegrass. I do want to introduce Tyler and just do a congratulations also, by the way, on winning the Employee of the Year from the Kentucky Association of Manufacturers. Welcome in, Tyler, and why don't you just give us a little bit of maybe how you got started at WaterStep, your mission on why you are still there, and kind of what you do every day.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Tom. Really enjoying your program. I've been at WaterStep nearly 2 years now, so not too long, but I'm the manufacturing coordinator there. Our mission is to save lives with safe water, and we manufacture a few different products to do that. A chlorine generator, a bleach maker, and a wow cart are most of what we do. And I'd love to help explain those. But I came into WaterStep as kind of a tinkerer, as a builder on our what we call a water on wheels cart. It's about the size of smaller than a golf cart, but bigger than a hotel cleaning caddy. And I so learned by getting my hands dirty and building, but eventually moved to more managerial role, helping to keep up inventory, guide people on how we build things, and run a shop. My background is a little disparate and winding. I studied what they called decision science and information systems at UK, and it was about making manufacturing business decisions. And after a few years of woodworking, I found myself in a manufacturing position where that's all relevant. And so stretching different muscles at WaterStep.
Sure. I think COVID brought on the woodworking for a lot of people. I know it did for me. I went out and bought a table saw. I was like, I don't got anything else to do. Might as well make a table or something,
A great pastime. And, I'm a big proponent of working with your hands and learning that way. And that's how we run and teach things at WaterStep. We consider ourselves rather unique in that our workforce is made up of mostly volunteers. So they're the ones building our products.
Yeah, I learned that from Curtis on the last episode we did, and I was like, oh, that is very interesting to hear that, people do and will volunteer their time for your all's purpose and the culture that you have there. That speaks to it very highly.
Terribly honored and surprised by the Kentucky Association of Manufacturers Award, but have to share the recognition with my crew and builders who make everything possible at WaterStep. They come in and share their time, energy, and devotion, and really make us the organization we are.
Nice. That's always good. Why don't you go into a little bit of the reason why those people actually did nominate you? I know we watched a little bit of video at the CAM ceremony, and I do, people should go out and try to find that for themselves to get a little bit more detail, but what was that all about?
Sure. It's a little hard to describe without telling you what we produce.
Right.
We have some magic in our favor simple chemistry. If you ever recall early high school chemistry, dipping nails and electrodes into salt water and doing electrolysis, it's what drives most of our innovation and technology at WaterStep. So we produce water sanitation equipment that we distribute around the world and help needy communities with disasters, man-made or not. And you're gonna have to guide me a little bit, Tom. Where am I going?
Yeah, so we do know a little bit about the WoW cart, and I
Okay,
think
yeah,
specifically they said something about, it takes X amount of time or did, and then, you
right.
revolutionize the building of it into, a
When
shorter
I
time span.
Yeah, not it's hard for me to toot my own horn very much because really we accomplished a great feat only due to everybody's hard work. But we were faced with a 90-day deadline of producing 28 of our carts, and we had not been producing them as rapidly as that. So we what's really interesting is we distributed 2 carts to each of 14 prisons in the state of Kentucky for emergency preparedness. And we kind of had to take a big step back and see how we could improve our process and churn out things faster than normal without losing any of our quality. So there was some reengineering of our bill of materials, getting that really clean, but also kind of Henry Fording the process of creating assembly lines, sub assemblies, and really chunking up the work so we could hand it off in increments. And really, the biggest innovations came from the builders themselves, taking apart manifolds and cutting PEX piping precisely. We're really proud of how little waste we produce. The guys in the
Mhm.
shop have about 2 or 3 inches of leftover pipe when they're done cutting, and we're smug about that. But the WOW card is essentially a water purification system on wheels, transportable, and we recently deployed 2 of them to Jamaica. It's been a really bustling 2 weeks here responding to efforts in Jamaica. We sent down a crew who have been our boots and eyes on the ground, and we are pulling unsafe water from the river and treating it and distributing it to communities who are in desperate need right now. We also sent one of our other products, the bleach maker, 320 of those guys, so 8 pallets went to Jamaica. It's a simple device that also uses electrolysis, but it's essentially a wand, a stick that goes into a jerry can that is filled with salt and water, just salt and water. And when you run electricity through it in about 60, 70 minutes, you get over a gallon of high quality, strong disinfectant. And this can be used, cut down really 9 or 10 times to produce quite a quantity of disinfectant used in clinics, hospitals, but also the bleach that's produced can treat water. So we're distributing those materials as effectively and methodically as we can, and getting them to people in need. It's why we do what we do.
Yeah, one of my questions here that you kind of just answered actually is,
Yeah,
a lot of people don't realize how complex the process of clean water is. I think, especially here in Louisville, Kentucky, with one of the top 5 water programs
right.
in the United States, it's definitely been taken for granted. And other places around the world, just like I'm sure, like you were saying, Jamaica, that they just
Yeah,
that's a crisis. The clean water is one of the highest. Not having clean water is one of the highest rates of illness that anybody can have, just We just
Absolutely.
don't
And
think about
that,
it here in America.
no, we take it for granted in every sense, literally, and just, we expect clean, hot water to come out on demand. But the second it's gone, it's the first thing you worry about. And the stats are kind of staggering. There are 2 billion humans on the planet that don't have access to safe water. I had to look up how many humans we had, but that's like 1 in 4 people
Yeah.
in on the planet that don't have consistent or access to safe water. And not to be a downer, but it took me aback the other day. The WHO, reports that 800 children under 5 die a day because of unsafe water conditions. And it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around.
Yeah.
But uh, it's it's what fuels our furnace at WaterStep. Um, we try to make simple, sustainable, maintainable products to hold up in the field and to be easily taught to use. So we're really trying to empower people to provide their own solutions to create their own safe water. A lot of times in disaster situations, they send in the pallets of bottled water, and that takes care of some needs, but it's hard to cook with, shower with, and use in any quantity. So we try to look at things differently with a eye for sustainability.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's obviously much needed. Probably need more of it. I would I would argue, obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's an
Start
awesome
with one of the
mission.
biggest problems in the world, and you don't run out of demand. We also so we are focused on emergency preparedness, but also reacting to disasters, home and abroad. We've been active in Jamaica, but I personally got to see our wild carts in action in Asheville, North Carolina after Hurricane Helene.
Yeah.
And that was really heartening and kind of fueled my passion more for the work we do. Um, but our wild carts have also been deployed in eastern Kentucky and western Kentucky for flooding and tornadoes. So relevant in our own backyard sometimes,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Yeah, and I was watching the old Kentucky native Ryan, y'all. Shout out to him for all of the the meteorology and the weather that he does and the assistance that he gives on his own through his channel. But yeah, the most recent tornado outbreak in multiple states, I'm sure is
Yeah.
um, it was a tough one to see. But I'm glad that you all were there and gave some services and were able to help there. Kind of the last thing here that I'll get from you
Yeah.
is the like we were saying, the average person kind of takes all these things for granted, the global water crisis, and glad you all have some humanitarian efforts there on that part. What may be one thing that you would want people to know outside of what we just talked about, maybe in your manufacturing process or your wild card, your product? What's something that you just want some people to know that they wouldn't think about asking the question themselves?
Yeah. On a on a week like this, it's easy to see why we do what we do. Some weeks are more quiet, but we're building um, we're other manufacturers have to keep the customer value in mind, but we're really mission driven, and we try to keep our end users front of mind. I'm just tickled that we're using such simple, sustainable, maintainable technology to solve such a wide and complex problem. And I I see WaterStep as really special in that e- empower our end users to provide safe water for themselves. And I think that spirit of empowerment bleeds through in our work life. As we teach volunteers, we're trying to teach them how to fish instead of just giving them a meal. So listening to our volunteers, many of whom are my close mentors, and have taught me so much. Yeah, something special is happening at WaterStep. There's something in the sauce right now, and we're excited for growth and community participation, and we're we've got open arms. We have a lot of ways to help, and whether it's volunteering yourself, or we have a used shoe program you can donate to. But we're always looking for new partners.
That is a great segue for my next question. How can somebody get a hold of you or WaterStep? Some contact
Sure.
information if they want to volunteer, donate, participate, any of those kinds of things.
Sure. Best few routes to interact with us. Firstly, find us on Facebook or Instagram. We're churning out photos of what we're doing, and sometimes seeing a picture really connects you to what understanding the impact we're having. So find us on social media, but also feel free to give us a call if you're interested. I have our number handy if you would like.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's a 502 number, 568-6342. And just get in touch, or definitely on our website. Please check out our website. You'll see our products on there, and there's definitely opportunities to donate and see how best you can contribute.
Awesome. Guys, I will also link a lot of that below in the episode notes and
Perfect.
in our posts for WaterStep. I know we have quite a few things on the previous episode, but we will be sure to highlight if you all want to donate or get involved. Well, Tyler, I appreciate your time. Again, congratulations on the Employee of the Year award. The industry conference was fun to be at, and I'm glad to see
For sure.
a place like WaterStep get some recognition, and somebody who helped all of those create those carts quicker, get some recognition in that, and you guys are producing awesome things. I do appreciate your time. And this is Tom Lawson. I'm your host with Built in the Bluegrass, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Built in the Bluegrass. We hope you're leaving this episode with a better understanding of the cool stuff made in Kentucky. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show. This way you'll get notified as new episodes become available. Until next time.